I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of this newsletter is going to be, when you stop caring, results will come. Got an email here from a viewer. He says, "Hey Coach, I'd like to ask how to behave when you give up on a girl that you liked. For example, say that you liked a girl and she's taken a long time to respond to your text. She goes hot and cold and leaves you waiting to the point you give up. And then she contacts you, but you feel like, what's the point? What is the best way to respond? To tell her thank you for getting in touch, but I'm going to have to decline and explain the reasons why, or just not respond at all or ever?" Well, part of your problem is you're obviously too focused on when somebody gets back to you. And that is an indication of neediness on your part. And so when you act that way and when you think that way and you behave that way, whether you realize it or not, you're actually communicating weakness to women on the other side. And so they start to get the impression from you, like that needy, stalkerish kind of behavior, and it causes them to back up and pause, and all of a sudden several days go by, they don't hear back from you, and then they start to think, oh, I was just... The feelings go away, and then they start to wonder, why doesn't he call? I haven't heard from him. And then that's when they reach back out to you. But like I said, if a girl's hot for you, and then all of a sudden she goes cold, one of two things is going on. Either A, there's another dude in the picture that she already knew, or maybe it's an ex-boyfriend that she's trying to get back together with, or B, the other option is that you simply did something to screw it up. Because if you were doing everything right with a girl, she'd be calling you more and texting you more and pursuing you more and wanting to be with you more, as opposed to less. So there's obviously something that you're doing and saying when you're interacting with these women that are turning them off. And just the fact that you're so focused on when she gets back to you, you've got to stop giving a shit. That can't matter. Because there are women out there, and I've met a lot of them over the years, and I've had amazing conversations with them. It gives you some real insight into how they think. And because there's so many guys out there that do this, they act like a stalker. It's like the guy will leave a message at, say, 7 o'clock at night, and then he doesn't hear back, and then at 9 o'clock at night he's calling her, and then he calls her the next day, and maybe the girl was out. Maybe she's on a date with another dude, or maybe she's out with her girlfriends. And so she looks at her phone, she sees all these messages, and she thinks, this is fucking weird. And so she can tell from the tone of the dude's voice that he's getting impatient, he's upset, and he's not calling because he wants to see her, he's calling because he doubts that he's got a shot with her. In other words, the only reason why he's calling is because he's trying to get some level of comfort within himself, so he feels better, so he feels like he's got a chance. Because what's really going on is, deep down, he believes that he doesn't deserve to have what he really wants. And so he just assumes, he has a belief system that tells him it's just a matter of time before the girl gets rid of you. And so in essence, he's trying to prevent that from happening by trying to forcibly interject himself into her life. And when he does that, he acts like a stalker, and of course that's going to cause a woman to back off more and want to have nothing to do with you. So like I said, that's where you're going. You're doing something, or you're saying something when you're out on dates with these women. And plus you care too much about when she gets back to you, and you got to stop giving a shit. Sometimes it might be 3 or 4 days. What if she went out of town on a business trip? Now, I wrote about this in my book. I had this girl, I fucking wanted to date her for years, and she always had a boyfriend, and I ran into her. I hadn't seen her for a while, and she's single. And we made a date, and we had a fantastic fucking time on this date, and I was on cloud 9. And then a couple days later, I sent her, I think, an email, or I called her. I can't even remember what it was at this point. It was like 15 years ago. And a couple days went by, I didn't hear back from her. It was like a day or two went by, and then so I sent her this nasty email. I was like, why, what's the deal? And basically, she like a week and a half went by, and then I get this email from her. She's like, hey, I told you I was going to New Orleans. I just didn't know for how long. I just assumed it was for like the weekend or something. She was there for like 2 weeks. And so I sent her this nasty email, and she sends me a nasty email back just saying, hey, basically have a nice life. And I felt like a complete jackass, because it was my impatience and my neediness that totally fucked it up, because I just assumed that it was just a matter of time before she blew me off, because that's what had always happened in the past when I got around women this way. And if I was a bet man, just like I said, from listening to what's going on with what women are doing and how they're reacting to you, it's either these particular girls either have another guy in the picture that they're trying to get back together with, or you're doing and saying something. And like I said, just from what you've written here, this communicates neediness to me. And so if you're communicating that in an email, you're obviously communicating that when you're talking to women, leaving messages or whatever it happens to be, in the words that you choose and in the tone of your voice as well. And so that's why you're running into the problems that you're running into. So you gotta let go. It's like you leave a message for a girl, you gotta wait for her to get back to you. And if she doesn't get back to you, guess what? It means she doesn't want to talk to you. She doesn't want to see you. And just because a girl gives you her number doesn't mean that she wants to have your child. And because a lot of women will just give out their numbers, figuring, hey, I'll just get rid of the guy later, and I'll just ignore his phone calls, and then he'll get the hint and he'll go away, as opposed to me rejecting him in person and take the chance on him being one of those guys that won't take no for an answer and won't leave me alone and create an awkward situation when I'm just trying to hang out and have fun with my girlfriends, is what she's thinking. And so like I said, it's just you gotta stop giving a shit. Leave a message, wait for the girl to get back to you, because if you're impatient, you're gonna fuck it up, just like that happened to me one time. And I learned a very valuable lesson for it. And this particular girl, it was love at first sight for me when I met her. It's just that she had a boyfriend. I think it was like a year or so later, I ran into her because I used to frequent a place where she worked. And so I used to see her all the time, and then I hadn't seen her for several months. We run into her, turns out she doesn't have a boyfriend anymore. And I was like, boom. It was a perfect opportunity, and I just totally fucked up because I acted like a needy, insecure jackass. Just in essence, like what you're acting here. So it's not going to help your case if you keep acting this way. Like I said, when you stop caring, the results will come. Leave messages, and the girls that like you, they'll get back to you when they can. And you got to be patient. Otherwise, you'll be blowing really great opportunities unnecessarily. So if you have a question you want to ask me, go to my website, click the Contact Me tab, which will be on the left-hand side of your screen, and just give me several weeks to get back to you with a response. If you want to talk to me right away, the quickest way to get my help is to book a paid phone coaching session. You can do that by going to my website, click the Products tab, which will be at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions. If you want to get a digital version of my Kindle ebook, on my website, underneath the email sign-up box, is a box that has a link that will take you right to the Amazon Kindle download page for my book. Once you get there, if you don't have a Kindle device, just download one of their free e-reader apps for whatever electronic device you want to read it on. And if you appreciate the value of the information I offer in these video newsletters, the articles on my website, and my ebook, you can show your appreciation right now by going to my website, and on the Wibby toolbar at the bottom of your screen, click the PayPal donate button and donate any amount that you feel is equal to the value of the information. And I will talk to you soon.